Yeah, blessed good evening to one of all. Yes, I'm here again in St. Lucie, the northernmost parish in Barbados. Once again, I'm by St. Lucie's Parish Church. Going to do a walk through the churchyard. And as usual, the church is closed, buttoned down tight as usual. You can see the bus. The bus for Pike Corner, Josie Hill, no going up through Fairfield Road in St. Lucie. I'm in the countryside. This road here will lead you back to Checker Hall, St. Lucie, and back to Babs. This road is Babs that will take you back to Checker Hall, St. Lucie, and back to the Arawat cement plant, and then will lead you back to Spitestone in St. Peter and Sixpence. You can see the Arawat cement plant building here. Down here at Checker Hall, St. Lucie. Again, this is also a part of the Charles Duncan O'Neill Highway, named after national hero Charles Duncan O'Neill. The highway is named after him. You can see all the Arawat cement plant, which is down here, down Checker Hall, St. Lucie. Let's vlog today. This is the church, St. Lucie Parish Church. I'm in the countryside here in the north of the island. This is the north side of the island. St. Lucie Parish Church, Anglican Church. So this is the church here. I will get to that shortly. Church here, and the Theodore Branker roundabout. We'll see if we can get in the roundabout and show you the tablet, what it says here on the roundabout. It says this roundabout was officially opened by the Honorable George Payne. Look at the church here. It says this roundabout was opened by the Honorable George Payne, Minister of Public Works, Transport and Housing, on the 19th of July 1996, and is dedicated in honor of the Sir J.E. Theodore Branker, Parliamentary Representative for St. Lucie in the House of Assembly from 1937 to 1971. So this is the detail of the roundabout. Theodore Branker was the Parliamentary Representative for St. Lucie in the House of Assembly from 1937 to 1971. I could afford a cross in this roundabout because this is the countryside and it is not as busy as the ones in the city area. So the Theodore Branker roundabout. So this is the countryside, as I said before, and this is also far north, to the far north of the island. And this is the only parish in Barbados that is named after a female. This parish is named after female patron saint, St. Lucie of Syracuse. guys a view from the church. This road here where that jeep is coming from is known as Benton St. Lucie, which will take you back to the St. Lucie post office and back to the children's home. The Parish Children's Home. The Parish or Barbados Children's Home, something, and it will take you back to. You can meet you back to Six Mains. You can get the Six Mains from here or from here. So this road to Checker Hall and Charles Duncan only highway will lead you back to Six Mains in St. Peter, or you can get the Six Mains in St. Peter from this way. Yeah. Highway 2A, which is also referred to as Ronald Map Highway. You can access the Ronald Map Highway here as well. Ronald Map Highway with an border. It will lead you to Oxford, St. Peter first, Oxford, Allendale, then Oxford, then a mile and a quarter, and then it will lead you to Highway 2A, which is also referred to as the Ronald Map Highway, and then it will lead you to Warrens and that side, all in St. Thomas. So this will lead you back to St. Peter. More inland, it will lead you back to St. Peter more inland, like a mile and a quarter, and then it will lead you to St. Thomas, St. James first, and then St. Thomas, all on the highway. So this is painted here. So I will soon take you over to the church. I will soon take you guys over to the church and show you guys more of the church. All for your few St. Lucie over here. So this is the church called Church Center. So this is St. Lucie Parish Church. First of all, this church dates back to 1837. St. Lucie Parish Church on the whole dates back to 1629, but it was destroyed by hurricanes and fires over the years. This current building now dates back to 1837. More Georgian and less Gothic. You can see the rounded windows. The roundabout here, and the church hall, the church parish center right here. And the paintings here, the murals on the church wall. Depicting things in St. Lucie. You can see Errol Barrow, who was our first Prime Minister, father of independence and national hero. Errol Walter Barrow, who led us into independence from England on the 30th of November 1966. And the garrison's man. Errol Barrow is also from St. Lucie. You can see the ground provisions and the agricultural produce here at Fairfield Plantation in St. Lucie. Errol Barrow was born at Fairfield, St. Lucie. All the agricultural produce here. Animal Flower Cave is also in St. Lucie, to the top of St. Lucie. So St. Lucie is basically to the top of the island. So this is a quite busy area, but it still is not busy. As we get what I mean. The sun here. The sun set across the horizon. And this is now advertising for the COVID. This mural was placed here around COVID time. This mural was placed here around COVID, around the time when they had the COVID pandemic. So this is the St. Lucie Parish Church. I will go to the church shortly. First of all, this road here will take you by the Fairfield in St. Lucie. Fairfield in St. Lucie, this way, where Barbados was born and raised. Barbados was born and raised.
Yeah, Captain.
Yeah.
Oh, you hit through in?
Yeah.
Yeah, through the fucking road.
Huh?
Yeah, through the road.
Oh. Barbados was born at Fairfield, St. Lucie, which is just up the road here. He was born on the 21st of January 1920 at Fairfield, St. Lucie. And he was the first Prime Minister, father of independence, and national hero. You can see the ruins for the old Fairfield plantation over here. And all up in here is Fairfield. So this road will lead you back to Mount Gay in St. Lucie, which is the rum distillery. Mount Gay rum distillery was established in 1703, the oldest rum in Barbados and in the world. Mount Gay. Mount Gay rum distillery, access from this road here. Also, you can access Jersey Hill, Fairfield, Alexandra, St. Lucie, anywhere so from here. So the Meridian Windows Company is also over here. So all the countryside. You can see all back across at Oxford, Allendale, and then Oxford. Allendale, St. Lucie, then Oxford is bordering St. Lucie and St. Peter. And then you would end up at and then follow the way to Highway 2A, also referred to as the Roundabout Highway. Yeah. Off your free plantation over here. Yeah. So this is the church. Enough of the road now. Time to get into the church. I forgot to mention this road here I'm looking at will take you back to the top of St. Lucie. River Bay, the Animal Flower Cave, Cornertown, Jersey Cornertown. It can lead you back to Pike Corner and the let's call it the rum distillery too. So St. Lucie is a very far parish. St. Lucie is a far parish to the north side of the island. It does take a long time to get into St. Lucie from various parts of the island. Depends on what part you're coming from. If you're coming from town or even the south of the island, it can take a while before you can get into St. Lucie. The only parish that is bordering St. Lucie on the boundary with St. Lucie is St. Peter. I will show you guys some of the historic graves of some prominent Barbadians who have been laid to rest in St. Lucie's churchyard. First of all, this is the monument commemorating the Coleridge Parish School. This is giving the history of the Parish School, which is on this site, opposite the church. The Parish School, named after Bishop Thomas Parry, who was the second Anglican bishop in Barbados. The Parish School merged with the Coleridge School, which was in St. Peter at Ashton Hall. Bishop William Hart Coleridge was the first bishop of Barbados. So Bishop William Hart Coleridge was the first Anglican bishop in Barbados, and then Thomas Parry was the second. Bishop Coleridge came to Barbados in 1825. Bishop Parry came to Barbados in 1825, and most of these Anglican churches in Barbados were built under his tenure as bishop, as chapels of ease to the parish churches. So the Coleridge School and the Parish School merged together and formed one school, the Coleridge and Parish Secondary School. In 1952, they amalgamated. So these are the list of headmasters of the Coleridge and Parish School, of the Parish School. As I said before, St. Peter, the only parish that borders St. Lucie, is St. Peter. The grave of James Cameron Tudor, born the 18th of October 1919 and died the 9th of July 1995. Former Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Parliamentary Representative for St. Lucie from 1952 to 1971. Joseph St. Clair Yearwood, Silver Crown of Merit, born 1922 and died in 2003, and his loving wife Aldora Odessa Yearwood, born 1915 and died in 2015. That means she would have been 100 years when she died. Faith Delia Yearwood, born 1951 and died in 2024. The grave of Sir Branston Richard Collymore, late Senator and former head of the Barbados Civil Service. So, the grave of Alvin Wesley Griffith, policeman, born the 14th of February 1936 and died the 20th of April 2022. This beautiful country church has a lot to offer. The grave of a policeman, former constable Marlon Hines. We don't go all the way down there because I see those people there and I don't want to get anything or any thought of them, so I would just go halfway around a certain boundary. I come in peace, I want to left in peace. Not pieces, I don't think we're left in pieces, but I want to left in misery neither. Some more graves over here. By the way, the former priest of St. Lucie Parish Church, the Reverend Curtis Doveridge, is also a relative of mine. He's a family member of mine. The grave of Loftus Chesterfield Bellamy and his wife Elise Bellamy. Grave of Louise Inez Ward and the mother, Louisa and Nellie Irene Ward. So, in the parish of St. Lucy and St. Peter, the two northernmost parishes on the island, we will come across persons with the following surnames: Griffith, Rock, Canterbury, Johnson, Hurley, um, Boyce, and as I go to the churchyard, and Ward too. As I go to the churchyard, I will show you the list of surnames in this cemetery. So this is the Ward family grave. Percival Kelman and George Hamble Griffith. Andrew, W. Andrew. I won't go through all the graves, but I will show you guys some of them, not all of them. It says family burial spot of William Wilkinson Blades Johnson, agriculturist, first interment on the 24th of August 1904. He was an agriculturalist. So, in this church, you will come across a lot of historic graves of a lot of historic people who made a contribution to this country. Oh, St. Lucie has a lot of Bowens as well, and Fosters. In St. Lucie, there are a lot of Fosters, a lot of Bowens, a lot of Everton, St. John, Everett, St. John, and Boyne. Griffith family grave over here. Yes, Hetty Ramona Goodrich, the wife of former priest Curtis Goodrich. Hetty is Curtis Goodrich's wife, first wife. She was also a relative of mine. She was originally from Highland in St. Thomas, but she married Curtis Goodrich. They met when Curtis Goodrich met Hetty when he was the priest at Holy Innocents, and they got married. And when they married, she was living here. She was living at the rectory at the time, at St. Lucie Rectory. So she moved to St. Lucie. So she's buried here now. Hetty Ramona Goodrich. Curtis Goodrich is also a relative of mine. He was a long-standing priest of St. Lucie from 1984 to 2024. St. Lucie also has a lot of brooms and broom as well. Broom. So St. Lucie and St. Peter are the two northern parishes on the island. Fully north. Church here. Alright, let me go through the church now. Churchyard. The church is always closed. Back at the roundabout. I will show you the grave of Orgalopsy, Dame Orgalopsy. So the grave of Edward T. Seal, who would have been Grafton Seal's Orgalopsy husband, Grafton Seal. and DM Argolot Seal. So Edward T. Seal will be Argolot Seal's, me Grafton Seal, father, and Argolot Seal. A history about Argolot Seal, born on the 26th of December 1918 in Guyana. She was the last of 6 children, and she was a white Guyanese, a Portuguese Guyanese. She, in 1953, she worked at Radio Demerara in Guyana. In 1963, first of all, she married Grafton Dixie, who went to Guyana on a project, on a work project. He was a Barbadian. Her husband was a white Barbadian. Grafton Dixie. She married Grafton Dixie in 1939. The marriage lasted 50 years, from 1939 to 1989. Grafton Dixie lived at Argolotsi, lived at Stanmore Oppressor in Black Rock. Argolotsi used to work, when she moved to Barbados in 1963, she worked at Ready Fusion, which is now Starcom Network, or Voice of Barbados. And then in 20, and then she was working there. She operated the Children's Party, and she used to work on the radio. I remember her as a little boy when she used to have the Sunday evening program, Yours Truly Orga. The theme song was the Elizabethan Serenade. Sadly, on the 8th of December 2010, she fell from her home, she fell from the stairs at her home, breaking several flat bones, causing her to be hospitalized. She died on the 4th of February 2011 at the age of 92. Rest in peace, Olga Lopsy. So her husband, her father-in-law, and her. In my opinion, Olga Lopsy should be a national hero. She should be. All the graves, this church has graves everywhere. Everywhere in here is just graves. Not just graves, but historic graves. This is Olga Lopsy's. This is the Morris Seal family that are buried here: Thelma Pauline Seal and Thomas Hillary Seal. I don't know how many of you could remember the Children's Party that Auntie Olga had at Radio Fusion, which is now Starcom Network. Challinor grave, Wilbert Challinor and Alden Challinor. St. Lucie has a lot of graves as well. Graves. St. Lucie has plenty of graves. That's another name in St. Lucie in the north. Graves. And the grave of former funeral director Oliver St. John Agbadamashi, who originally is from Nigeria and Africa. This is their family grave. They are from Nigeria and Africa, but they're made family in Barbados. This is one church, which is one Anglican church that has a lot of graves and historic graves in it. All behind here is the graveyard. Sometimes, even though the church is closed, the churches are a good place to gather your thoughts and find peace. There's supposed to be peace in the church, in my opinion. There should be peace everywhere, but in a church especially, a lot of them have been locked now. I guess they have been locked for security purposes. Another pink grave here. St. Lucie Parish Church bears some resemblance to its neighbor church, St. Peter, which is in the heart of Speightstown, in St. Peter. I've got to mention you can access Speightstown from this road, as well as this road here, as well. This is the church parish center. I will end my video by the church center, and then walk back. You can feel all the country breeze blowing sweetly. I don't say it's overcast because we had a little rainfall as well. This is an emergency shelter for, in case of a hurricane or a storm. It says the William Donald George Parish Center. The plaque was unveiled by the Reverend Curtis Sylvester R. Goodrich, Rector, and Mr. Roger Blackman, Manager and Director of the Barbados Light Power Company Limited, to commemorate the official opening of the Parish Center on the Sunday, 4th of February 2018, in acknowledgement of the contribution made by the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited. Thanks for watching and have a blessed evening.